Good morning, everybody. This is Diggs. It's another stormy day out here in the Pacific Northwest. 60-mile-per-hour winds. We are recording, trying to beat the clock of whenever we are going to run out of power. So hopefully we'll get this uploaded in time. Today, we're going to be talking about Pumpkin Spice Frederika. That's right. Pumpkin Spice Frederika is here, PSF. And she's interesting. I'm not sure she's going to be for everybody. We're going to go through all of her stats, all of her info, kind of compare her mock builds. But I think for most of you, she's actually going to be a skip. Let's go ahead and dig in. So in terms of her TMR, there's nothing too incredible. Comarin is going to be an HP 264, Spirit 10, critical hit rate 14. Good crit rate, abilities kind of meh. It decreases single target resistance 20 for 2 turns when performing a critical hit rate for self. I can think of many other TMR abilities that I would rather use and have. Her mastery ability is going to have the classic Earth buff for Earth units, HP 10%, Earth attack 15 for other Earth allies. She gets a chonky attack plus 15% for self, and she gets an increased evasion plus 5 as well. Her base attack modifier is going to be 100%. And 100% attack, and her limit break carving carnival is going to have a slash resistance penetration 30 for self with a 200% modifier damage attack with 67% chance to inflict blind, and that'll last kind of for 3 turns with 50% reduced accuracy. This is really powerful, and part of the reason this is a really powerful ability is 1, it has slash resistance penetration, 2, that pairs really well with Frederika's high attack, and Frederika has really high defense penetration. So when we go through her stats here, just pulling them up, you're going to see she's ranked 15th in attack. Don't be deceived though. She does have that plus 15% attack in her mastery ability. I believe she has another plus 10 on her ability board. She has buffs. If you sub Dragoon and use Dragon's Kin, she can modify her attack pretty heavily there. Paired with the defense penetration that she has, I mean, she's going to be hitting like a truck. Now, taking a look at her core stats here, she does have charm resistance, comes in at 66 agility. In her mock build, I even got her up to 105 agility, which is very high. Attack 544, missile resistance 10% for those Jadens out there. We also have magic resistance 10% as well. She's a little bit weak to slash, a little bit weak to fist, but honestly, if you're putting her up against a Tifa, she's probably going to die anyway. So really, I'm not too worried about the weakness to striking. Now, she does also have 15% pierce resistance, and she has an ability that buffs her against pierce resistance and magic attack simultaneously. So she could be a good unit going forward if you are thinking about trying to counter Oberon. I think though, with the dominance of Halloween Leela, you may want to consider whether or not Frederika is going to be a good pull for you, because I have a feeling with the changes coming to Leela EX, they are going to kind of nullify a lot of these Earth-based units. I think Earth Evasion will still be a thing, but I think with Leela EX coming out this week, I think Earth Evasion is going to kind of fall off for just a little bit. Now, in terms of her stat ranking, her HP is 65th, attack is 15th, agility 24th, dexterity 34th, luck 14th, and AP 112th. In her mock build, I got her up to about 5,700 HP, 1141 attack, 105 agility, dex 391. Now, keep in mind the dexterity 391 is because I did put the Tourmaline ring on her. You probably can get a pretty high dex without putting that Tourmaline ring on. The Tourmaline ring, of course, is the new piece of gear coming out this week, which gives dex plus 20% and jump plus 1 for 1 turn to your units. So something to consider there. Her luck is at 420, and this was just with her vision card equipped on her. So very high evasion, very high luck. She's going to be very good. I can't imagine how high you would be able to get this number if you did have Summer Ketone's vision card in the party with her. Crit plus 36, starting AP going to be about 28 out of 166. To compare her class modifier attacks, so she's almost a carbon copy of Noctis's class modifier attacks. 100% attack, 25% dexterity, 10% agility, 100% luck. We see some difference between, for example, Ketone and GL Zazan. GL Zazan has 100% attack, 20% dex, and leans a lot more into the agility with 30% in agility. And then, of course, with Oberon coming out, you're going to have 120% for Oberon's attack. So when you're thinking about synergies, when you're thinking about stat modifications in the party, this is definitely something to consider, and it really kind of shows off that she's going to work really well with GL Zazan, Ketone, and potentially Noctis as well. I think she could, because she does have access to Sub Dragoon, run in a Oberon type party, and that kind of gets into a discussion about what vision card to run on her and how good her vision card actually is. I'm going to do a separate video on this, but I actually think her vision card with the other vision cards that are coming out is a little lackluster. I actually think you may not want to pull for the Halloween vision card alongside Frederika, just because there are other vision cards, like other combinations of vision cards for your units that are probably going to make a better triple vision card combo. In terms of support abilities, oh my god, she has incredible support abilities, y'all. Fencer's Secret, attack plus 30%, defense penetration 40, evasion rate plus 12, deadly sword technique, critical hit rate plus 15, critical damage plus 20, shadow running, agility plus 12%, luck plus 12%, Shikuchi, move 1 and jump 1. And normally I would not suggest having Shikuchi on here with such great options for your abilities, but here's the thing, depending on how you work her, you could make her a very highly mobile unit with up to 5 movement. The only other unit in the game that has 5 movement is Zazan. So depending on how you work her buffs, she could be the most mobile unit in the game without Ketone's TMR, right? Like this is just her actually using the buffs that she has. Her counter abilities, React Barrage, 30% chance to counter and decrease accuracy 25. That's pretty powerful. I went up against a Charlotte today in class match, which was focused on Steel Vision, and it was actually pretty effective. I was actually really surprised how much 25 accuracy actually really inhibited my capability to hit the opponent. So I would say you're probably going to be setting that. You know, Dragon Sword is a very powerful counter, but the thing with Frederika is I think if she's going to get hit, she's going to die. So I don't think you're going to be setting Dragon Sword, just because, you know, I mean, you could also say the same with React Barrage. It's just a tough situation. It's hard to know what counter is going to be right, because she basically has to take damage in order to counter. I mean, if you counter and drain HP, that might not let you survive, but if you counter and lower the enemy's accuracy, you may be able to evade their next attack. Her primary job, Sharp Edge, crit rate plus 35, 121% modifier, very good range. Responsive attitude. Now, there's a lot of really interesting buffs with Halloween Frederika, and I think what's interesting with all of these buffs, you're never going to see them probably in the same match, and it's probably going to be a situation where you turn on and off the buffs that you need depending on what you need her to do. So if Oberon comes out in the following week, maybe you're going to turn on her job level 25 ability for pierce resistance 30%, magic resistance 30%. Maybe if you're on a map that needs really high movement, like our current map, you're going to set her buff that increases movement and critical hit rate. There's a lot of things to think about. So her first buff, Responsive Attitude, increased evasion 25 for 3 turns to self, increases single target resistance 20 for 3 turns to self. Very powerful, very focused on survival. Offense and defense, increase AoE resistance 15 for 3 turns to allies, restore AP 10 when performing critical hit rate for self. So again, another very powerful defensive capability. Anytime you have AoE resistance or single target resistance, they're very powerful. Whirl Slash, I actually think this may be an ability. I have it turned off here, but I think Whirl Slash is one of those abilities you would set if you are going to be running the like movement 5 Frederika build, right? So I have it turned off, but it's quite possible you turn this on if you are trying to get a movement 5 build going with her. Her ability Rapid Cut upgrades to Rapid Drain, decreases defense 30 for 3 turns to target, has some nice range on it, absorb 30% of the damage done, and is 165x modifier, is also a 2-strike attack, and it has 4 casts, so this is going to be really great for any type of earth / chaining. Her sub ninja does not have access to triple trick, so this is going to be basically the best multi-hit strike for PvE content that you're going to have access to. Job level 25 ability, increase pierce resistance 30% for 3 turns to self, and magic resistance 30% for 3 turns itself. Very powerful. Again, kind of leaning into that survivability. This could be, again, really good when Oberon comes out, or if maybe Black Rose Helena. I even wonder if this could make her survive a little bit against Halloween Leela. And part of me wonders if this, 30% magic resistance, because Halloween Leela does not have magic resistance penetration. She has spirit penetration, right? So part of me is wondering if it's possible to actually run an Earth composition or run Halloween Frederika against Halloween Leela. It's going to be really interesting to consider. You're probably going to be subbing her Sub Fencer. She gets a buff, ready to attack, which gives move 1 for 3 turns, increase critical hit rate 25 for 3 turns. Buff that with Shikuchi. So if you use that buff in Shikuchi, you're going to have 5 movement. Hit break is going to be 165x modifier, piercing based attack in front of you. Decreases attack 25 for 3 turns to target, or decreases accuracy, sorry. So very, focusing on that evasion aspect to her. It'll be interesting to see how powerful she is. I bet you she'll be able to solo a lot of content. And she's probably going to be kind of similar to 2B, where she's like a really powerful solo unit. It'll be really interesting to see kind of what happens with her. Looking at her sub-job kit, Sub-Dragoon is the only way to really get attack up. So it's going to be a 42% attack boost, of course, with Dragon Skin. This is really powerful because remember, she has a lot of attack. So you're going to be increasing like 250 attack or so with this. That's a lot. Like, that is a lot of attack to buff. So and keep in mind, right, she has defense penetration. She has slash resistance penetration. You could be setting the GL Zazan Earth Element VC, which also gives slash resistance plus 35 to the party. Like, all of a sudden, she's able to kind of bypass all defenses that your opponent can pretty much have. You have defense, she can lower your defense, and she can penetrate your defense. You have slash resistance, she can penetrate your slash resistance, right? If she's using her LB, if she has the slash resistance VC on for Earth Element units, kind of known as the Mont/GL Zazan VC, then she's going to be having 65% slash resistance penetration on her LB attack, right? Because that slash resistance plus 35 is very powerful. Not to mention, she can equip swords, and you'll probably have the defense pen as well from Spine Blade on there. I mean, it starts adding up very quickly. If you do end up running her with Oberon, you're probably just going to use her with horizontal jump as well. 220x modifier, very high. Jumping, I mean, it's gonna happen. Even Laswell, while he has great slash based abilities, has great synergy with Pierce compositions as well. So I always think you should never discount Sub Dragoon. In the same way, Sub Ninja, though, doesn't really have the tools that I would consider extremely powerful, like Triple Trick. Shadowbind is a very good ability, which does have a chance to inflict stop. Question you have to ask yourself is, Frederika, what's her faith going to be run at? Is it something she's going to be using when she could use her other abilities? I would rather her use her LB and try and land blind, because a lot of people don't have blind resistance. I think a lot of people do kind of have stop resistance or set ribbons. So I think you'll be focusing on other abilities or other sub jobs besides Ninja. Doton is typeless damage. It's just earth damage. I still don't think you're going to be using that, and there's not really any buffs with the exception of Hide, which decreases your chance of being targeted. And maybe that's what you want, but I don't think it's what you want. I don't think it's the direction you're going to want to go. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are, if you're in the Pacific Northwest, enjoying this storm right now. Like, it is crazy whipping outside, and literally it's like 10 in the morning right now, and I'm trying to make my videos as fast as possible for y'all because I'm scared my power is going to go out. If you haven't already, make sure you use my affiliate link, dig.gs/coins or dig.gs/offer if you are buying Amazon coins. And of course, I will hopefully see you guys tomorrow on stream. There is a maintenance this week, so we will probably play some New World while we wait for War of the Visions to come back up. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and have a great rest of your day.